Throughout history, religions have often been compared and contrasted, revealing common threads and divergences in their beliefs and practices. One of the more controversial comparisons is the notion that Christianity shares significant similarities with witchcraft, particularly in its rituals and foundational narratives. At first glance, the assertion that Christianity is witchcraft may seem outlandish to many. Yet, when we delve deeper into the nature of both practices, intriguing parallels emerge. For instance, both traditions employ rituals that evoke a sense of the supernatural. Witchcraft and Christianity, though often seen as opposing forces, share intriguing similarities in their use of rituals that invoke a sense of the supernatural. At their core, both practices aim to connect individuals with powers beyond the ordinary realm, creating a bridge between the human experience and the divine or mystical. In Christianity, prayer occupies a central role as a means of communication with God. It can be perceived as a form of incantation, a deliberate and focused attempt to invoke divine favor or intervention in one's life. This perspective encourages a deeper understanding of prayer, viewing it not merely as a passive act of devotion but as an active engagement in seeking assistance, guidance, or healing. The believer's words are imbued with intention, much like a spell, aiming to align the supplicant with a higher power to achieve specific outcomes. Furthermore, the structure and language of prayers often mirror the elements found in magical rituals. Prayers may include repeated phrases, the use of specific names of God or saints, and the invocation of blessings, paralleling the way spells might call upon deities or forces of nature. Both practices rely on the belief that there is a power in the words spoken and the intent behind them, suggesting that the act of articulating desires can manifest change in the world. Furthermore, the employment of symbols within both witchcraft and Christian traditions is remarkably noteworthy and bears significant implications for the practice and understanding of each faith. In the realm of witchcraft, practitioners often incorporate a variety of symbols and artifacts that hold personal or cultural meaning, utilizing them as tools to channel their intentions and manifest their desires. These symbols might include pentacles, crystals, or specific herbs, each selected for its unique properties and historical significance. These artifacts serve not merely as decorative items, but as powerful conduits that facilitate a connection to the spiritual realm, enhancing the effectiveness of their magical workings. In parallel, Christians adopt a range of symbols, including the cross, which represents the sacrifice of Jesus Christ and serves as a reminder of redemption and hope. Additionally, icons, sacred images that depict holy figures, and relics, which are physical remains or personal effects of saints, play a crucial role in the spiritual lives of believers. These items are often venerated and are believed to carry divine grace, acting as intermediaries between the faithful and the divine. The presence of these symbols in worship settings fosters a sense of connection to the sacred and enhances the overall spiritual experience. Moreover, both witches and Christians participate in communal gatherings that are integral to their practices. These gatherings, whether they manifest as church services for Christians or coven meetings for witches, provide a space for collective worship, celebration, and ritual. The shared energy generated by the participants during these events is considered to amplify the potency of their rituals, creating a powerful atmosphere of intention and belief. In these communal settings, individuals come together to focus their energies and intentions, fostering a sense of unity and purpose that transcends individual practice. Ultimately, the rich symbolism and the communal aspects of both witchcraft and Christianity underscore the profound human desire for connection, meaning, and the exploration of the spiritual dimensions of existence. Through the use of symbols and the gathering of communities, both traditions cultivate a shared understanding of the sacred, enabling practitioners to engage more deeply with their beliefs and with one another. One of the most contentious aspects of Christianity is the narrative of Jesus as a human sacrifice, a concept that evokes a wide range of interpretations, beliefs, and debates among scholars, theologians, and laypeople alike. The crucifixion of Jesus is central to Christian doctrine and is often understood as a pivotal event that signifies the atonement for humanity's sins, a profound act of love and redemption. According to Christian belief, Jesus willingly submitted to this brutal fate, taking upon himself the sins of the world in order to restore the broken relationship between humanity and God. This sacrificial motif is deeply embedded in the teachings of the New Testament, and is celebrated in various rituals, such as the Eucharist, where the body and blood of Christ are symbolically shared among believers. However, the idea of sacrifice, especially in the context of religion, is not unique to Christianity. Throughout history, various ancient religions practiced both human and animal sacrifices as a means to appease their deities, seek divine favor, or ensure favorable outcomes in matters such as agriculture, war, and health. From the ancient Greeks who offered sacrifices to their pantheon of gods, to the Aztecs who engaged in ritualistic offerings, the theme of sacrifice appears as a common thread woven through the tapestry of human religious experience. Many pagan religions emphasized the significance of ritual sacrifice as a means of appeasing deities or seeking favor from the divine. In response to these prevalent practices, early Christians found themselves at a crossroads. They sought to articulate their own understanding of sacrifice, particularly in the context of Jesus Christ's ultimate sacrifice on the cross, while also engaging with the cultural milieu that surrounded them. As a result, certain elements of pagan rituals were integrated into Christian worship and practice, often reinterpreted to align with Christian theology. This can be seen in various aspects of liturgical practices, calendar celebrations, and communal rituals, where pagan symbols and festivals were transformed to convey Christian meanings. For example, the timing of certain feasts and observances may have been influenced by existing pagan festivals, allowing early Christians to attract converts by providing familiar cultural touchstones within a new religious framework. Furthermore, the early church's adaptation of these elements was not merely a matter of superficial borrowing, it was a dynamic process of dialogue and transformation. As Christianity spread, it absorbed local customs, which helped to make the faith more accessible and relatable to a diverse populace. This blending ultimately played a crucial role in shaping the development of Christian identity and practice, allowing it to resonate with followers from various backgrounds while maintaining its core message. The relationship between Christianity and paganism became increasingly evident during the reign of Emperor Constantine, a significant period that spanned the early 4th century. Constantine's conversion to Christianity was not merely a personal change of faith, it represented a monumental turning point in the trajectory of Western history. Prior to his conversion, the Roman Empire was characterized by a polytheistic belief system, where pagan religions flourished alongside various cults and practices. However, Constantine recognized the potential for Christianity to serve as a unifying force within the vast and diverse empire. In his quest to bring cohesion to the fractured state, Constantine actively promoted Christianity, seeking to create a single, unified religious identity for his subjects. This initiative culminated in the issuance of the Edict of Milan in 313 AD, a groundbreaking decree that established religious tolerance throughout the empire. The edict was instrumental in legitimizing Christianity, allowing it to emerge from the shadows of persecution, and enabling its followers to practice their faith openly without fear of reprisal. The consequences of this shift were profound and far-reaching. With the backing of the emperor, Christianity began to flourish, drawing in new converts from various segments of society, including those who had previously adhered to pagan beliefs. Churches were built, the Christian community grew in prominence, and the teachings of Jesus Christ spread rapidly throughout the empire. This era also witnessed the gradual decline of traditional pagan practices as they began to coexist, and often compete, with the now empowered Christian faith. Constantine's reign marked a critical juncture in the history of religion, as the lines between Christianity and paganism began to blur. While some pagan practices persisted, the influence of Christianity steadily increased, reshaping cultural and spiritual landscapes across the Roman Empire. The interplay between these two belief systems would continue to evolve, leading to a complex tapestry of faith that defined the religious landscape of Europe in the centuries to come. However, Constantine's rule also saw the incorporation of various pagan customs into the Christian tradition. The adaptation of these elements allowed Christianity to appeal to a wider audience and facilitated its spread throughout the empire. Constantine's rule marked the incorporation of various pagan practices into the Christian faith. For instance, many of the holidays and celebrations that are now fundamental to Christian practice, such as Christmas and Easter, were strategically aligned with pre-existing pagan festivals that were already widely celebrated across the Roman Empire. Christmas, which commemorates the birth of Jesus Christ, is believed to have been placed on December 25 to coincide with the Roman festival of Saturnalia, a time of feasting, gift-giving, and merriment that honored the god Saturn. This alignment not only eased the transition for converts from paganism to Christianity but also allowed new believers to retain some of their familiar customs and celebrations within the framework of their new faith. Similarly, Easter, which celebrates the resurrection of Jesus, coincides with various springtime fertility rites and festivals dedicated to pagan deities, celebrating themes of renewal and rebirth. By adopting these established festivals, Christianity was able to resonate more deeply with the diverse populations within the empire, many of whom were reluctant to abandon their long-held traditions. This adaptation of pagan elements was not merely a tactic for conversion, it reflected a broader strategy to unify the empire under a single religious framework while respecting the cultural heritage of its varied inhabitants. The blending of these traditions facilitated the spread of Christianity, allowing it to penetrate different social strata and geographic regions. Consequently, this approach fostered a sense of continuity and connection, bridging the gap between the old and the new, and ultimately contributing to the establishment of a distinctly Christian culture that would influence the trajectory of Western civilization for centuries to come. Most Christians are completely unaware of the fact that a significant number of practices and rituals commonly observed within their faith have historical roots that can be traced back to witchcraft and various pagan traditions. This connection is often overlooked or dismissed, leading to a lack of understanding about the origins of certain customs. Many of the traditions and customs that are commonly observed by Christians today are not actually rooted in biblical scripture or teachings. Instead, these practices have evolved over time, often without much critical thought or reflection from those who partake in them. Many individuals within the Christian community engage in these rituals and customs, often out of a sense of habit or cultural familiarity, without recognizing that their origins may lie in ancient pagan religions or even witchcraft. This disconnect can be quite surprising, especially for those who hold strong beliefs against witchcraft and pagan traditions. Many Christians might find themselves inadvertently participating in practices that have connections to these very belief systems they criticize. For instance, certain holidays, rituals, and symbols that are widely celebrated and embraced within the Christian faith may have historical ties to pre-Christian or non-Christian practices that were prevalent in various cultures throughout history. The tendency to overlook the origins of these traditions is often compounded by a lack of awareness or education about the historical context of these practices. As a result, Christians may find themselves unwittingly embodying elements of belief systems that they view as contrary to their own faith. Unfortunately, many Christians do not engage in the level of critical thinking necessary to question the actions being proposed to them, particularly when these actions are presented as being consistent with their faith. This lack of scrutiny can lead to a scenario where individuals or groups can easily influence or coerce Christians into supporting causes, initiatives, or behaviors that may not truly reflect their core values or the teachings of their faith. The culture of complacency and anti-intellectualism within the Christian faith prevents Christians from engaging in self-reflection on their own practices that ostensibly go against their core beliefs.